WWE are planning a Hardy Boyz main roster return. Plus, we have an update on multiple AEW stars following a botch on Dynamite last week, and a major WrestleMania 41 title match has been pitched. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Two things I'm loving in the comment section of our videos right now. One, the sheer amount of bots that are popping by and saying hi. Hello, bots. That's right. We are extravagant and delicious in every video. But also...
They're not bots. Sorry.
Some of them at least might be. But also, the amount of love for your Hardy Boyz dance. Every time you do
really?
it. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So here's an excuse to give us one more. There it is. There it is.
Now I feel weird doing it. I've genuinely not checked. Thank you,
Some all the love.
Is it getting love?
It's mainly love.
Okay.
Love from WWE for the Hardy Boyz, though, who turned up on NXT last night as planned and had a match against No Quarter Catch Crew. And I feel like there are bigger plans afoot for Matt and Jeff in WWE.
And a major clue as to that is the new Hardy Boyz t-shirt, which dropped last night ahead of their NXT appearance. And the moment was shared across WWE socials during the night as well, with the Hardy Boyz being there in NXT and everything. But it could lead to even bigger things, Tom, than just an NXT appearance.
WrestleVotes adding, internally there is buzz that this is just the beginning, with creative sources optimistic they will have a main roster program sometime this spring/summer. The wording from commentary was interesting on last night's NXT as well, where they talked about the Hardy Boyz coming home and back where they belong, which must be weird if you're in TNA.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like watching, your partner with her ex.
They've both been world champions in TNA and had singles runs and everything as well.
Yeah.
And now WWE are like, no, come on,
Back
get
where
back
they
here.
belong.
I get it to an extent with the TLC matches and all the revolutionary things. I wonder if they're going to be passing the torch on the main roster to another tag team and going, these are the guys now. And if it is any tag team I'd want to see them maybe get battered by, I think maybe the Street Profits with their new heelish guys that they're wearing currently.
That's a nice idea. I feel like that's the one thing that we wanted from the Hardys for a while, that kind of final WWE sign-off. I know there was talk of Jeff Hardy going into the Hall of Fame a few years back, but he said he wouldn't go in without Matt.
Oh.
And now we're at this point where we could easily see them both go into the Hall of Fame. If not, I don't know whether it'll be a WrestleMania this year, but maybe next year we'll have them in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, if they're there by this time next year, if they've wrapped things up or put a little nice bow on the end of at least their WWE careers, then why not next year? They're a headline Hall of Fame act, surely. Maybe with one other singles legend going in too, but you can't. It's the Hardy Boyz.
It's the Hardy Boyz. That's right, the Hardy Boyz.
Oh, yes. The Hardy Boyz, see?
We have another update for you now on another WWE show, NXT. We move to LFG, and some good news. We're only a couple of weeks in, and we've had some exciting developments for the future of LFG.
Yes, PW Insider has reported that just 2 weeks in, WWE LFG has already been renewed by A&E. PW Insider Elite can confirm. They were also told that filming is already underway for Season 2 in Orlando. So it's barely been on our screens, and already Season 2 is confirmed.
Not a love for LFG. It's an interesting bit of a cross between what Tough Enough was, a little bit like what The Ultimate Fighter was, and lots of videos about, respect and how these youngsters need to learn respect.
There's been a lot of that sort of stuff. It's been mentioned here just before off camera that I'm not all caught up with WWE LFG, but apparently Bully Ray is teaching these rookies how to respect the business.
Basically, Bully Ray has the Paul Hollywood handshake of the wrestling world now that you have to earn.
Oh, that's a lovely flan.
Having said that, because I've been following the thing, and I like Brandon Jay's chances of winning the whole thing, but Bully wouldn't shake Brandon Jay's hand. He doesn't respect him enough. But therefore, you have more respect from Bully Ray than Brandon Jay.
I've shooken Bully Ray's hand.
He's shooken Bully Ray's hand?
In fairness, I had to approach him and shake his hand because he was the big star coming into WCPW. But I went up to him and thought, I've just got to do it. Because you got to shake everyone's hand and everything. And Bully Ray's a big scary man, but I was like, I'm going to do it. It's probably the firmest handshake I've ever experienced in my life. I think his hand just engulfed mine. But from then on, the next day when he walked in, he gave me a little wink and went, "Hey, what's up, kid?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm basically one of the Dudleys now. Oh, my brother," I said. Testify.
When you shook his hand, did you say, "Hello, Bully," or did you say, "Hello, Mr. Ray," or did you call him Mark?
I think I went, huh? No, I think he went, backstage, I don't know what the other wrestlers were told to call him, but I think we just called him Bully, which was strange, which was odd. But
hello, Bully.
Hello.
Bully,
Hey, to
challenge.
be fair, he gave his all in that promotion. I can't knock his efforts there. He lost matches, which people thought he wouldn't do, and he put Adam Pacitti through a table.
Good times had by all. Let's talk about other weapon use, or lack of weapon use, from AEW Dynamite last week. Weird situation on the show that involved Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, and Megan Bayne. Rosa came out with a chair, looked like she was going to hit the two of the baddies.
Or chase them away.
But they just kind of stood there.
They didn't run away. And it made Thunder Rosa look like a bit of a weak baby face because she couldn't even scare off these heels with a chair. Then there was a weird tug-of-war situation with Penelope Ford. I speculated, and I wasn't the only one, but I certainly speculated on a news video last week that there may have been some sort of attempt to deliberately sabotage Thunder Rosa's run in here. That has now been debunked slightly.
Yeah, Fightful Select reporting online speculation claimed that Bayne and Ford, quote, went into business for themselves, end quote. But the claim internally was that was not the case. Those we spoke to said it would have been a coach or producer miscommunication in not instructing the talent where to position themselves. Sources in AEW said the situation was discussed following the segment and none of the participants have issues working together.
Fair enough. If that is true, then that does also correspond with the story that came out of increasing frustrations within AEW because of a lack of production meetings, which, you know, is the sort of thing that maybe this could have avoided if there were more meetings, that could have been avoided.
We're heading towards WrestleMania weekend, and it looks as if one ECW Legends retirement match is scrapped for that week.
Tom, if you were a wrestler and you'd had a long and illustrious career and everything,
I've got one match on Cage Match.
You won. And your body was all torn up to shreds and everything, and you were getting towards the end of your career. Who do you think should be allowed to determine who you wrestle in your retirement match? I think it should be you. But Joey Janela would suggest that it should be Joey Janela who decides, because WrestleMania weekend is said to be the site of Sabu's retirement match against Joey Janela as part of Joey Janela's spring break. Thematically, I think that works absolutely fine as a retirement match for Sabu. Two hardcore guys, passing the torch, older versus younger, that sort of thing. It all makes sense. But unfortunately, Janela has suffered an injury that's going to keep him out of action for the foreseeable future. And we wish him a full and speedy recovery, of course. When it was suggested that Janela be replaced by Rob Van Dam for Sabu's final match, and I think it was just a suggestion on Twitter.
It was a fan suggestion, yeah.
But and I would then have said that would sound like a good idea. Joey tweeted, if I'm not wrestling on the show, Sabu won't be wrestling on the show. Simple as that. Even if I'd have to create a new Joey Janela spectacle show for the summer, the match belongs to me, and I don't deserve to have it taken from me. I've sacrificed too much not to be selfish at this time.
He'd later go on to say that obviously if Sabu chooses to have another opponent one-on-one, then that's sort of like his call. But if it's up to him, he's saying, no, absolutely not. I'm having the match with Sabu. When I'm back and healthy, we're going to do it.
I understand that Janela has sacrificed a lot in his wrestling career and everything, not just in the ring, but with the creation of these Joey Janela. He's clearly, I think he's one of the big reasons for GCW becoming such a thing on the independent scene over the years and everything. I'm not knocking Joey Janela for that. I just think the wording, maybe he could have worded this a little bit better, because the suggestion of Rob Van Dam retiring Sabu, of course, makes the most sense. Like, it just does. They're former tag team partners. They're former rivals. They had incredible chemistry together. They were the classic oddball tag team pairing in ECW. And I think that the way he responded to that, there might be stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, with Janela having set up this match and everything, and feels like it really is his match to have with Sabu. But I think when it comes to a wrestler's retirement over their whole career, the focus is on that wrestler, not the opponent. And it feels a little bit like his wording has made it sound like it's the other way around, and that shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't be. It's one that we'll keep an eye on and see where we go from there. And we'll end, speaking of WrestleMania, on WrestleMania itself, in which there are some plans afoot, at least being pitched and thrown around, for a pretty major title match on the weekend.
Yes, WrestleVotes says they are tossing around a multi-man, as has become tradition at WrestleMania, whether it be the IC title or the tag team titles last year. Not saying there's going to be a ladder involved. Don't know if that's the direction they're going or not, but I doubt it's just going to be Bron Breakker versus X in a one-on-one match. So it sounds very much like if there is this multi-man match coming in, it'll be for Bron Breakker's IC championship.
And do you know what? I do love a little bit of multi-man chaos. Normally, sticking a ladder in there is always good fun. I think when the Money in the Bank match was first conceived and it was part of WrestleMania weekend, it added a nice element. Like you had these great matches and stories that play out. Yeah. But you had like this sort of car crash multi-person match somewhere in the card as well. It's normally a great way to open WrestleMania with a ladder match. I
think that the best pay-per-views often are ones where there's a lot of variety, and provided there aren't too many multi-man matches or multi-woman matches all on one night, I think it can absolutely spice things up. And I think it could either be a great way of putting Bron Breakker over as this really dominant champion. Oh my God, he's retained the belt against 4 or 5 other people. Or it could also be a way of getting the belt off him without having him take a pinfall. And I think it could service WWE's booking either way.
I had the idea in the first news video that maybe for Stand and Deliver for NXT, we build up to a ladder match between Fraxium and the Hardys for both the TNA and the NXT tag team titles. I like
that idea very much so.
I don't know whether we'd have too many ladders matches by having 2 over a course of a week within WWE.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a ladder match. And even if there weren't weapons involved, just having more people for Bron Breakker to run at is quite exciting anyway. That's almost like a hardcore match in itself. So yeah, I think it's promising signs either way.
WrestleMania Road runs through Elimination Chamber in Canada this Saturday. 9 pitches on the channel in a short while's time from Andrew, from Jack, and from Ross. And some creative juices have been flowing in that room over there.
Yeah.
Clean up after yourselves, you dirty boys.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun. It's going to be great. All the other coverage as well of Elimination Chamber that you might expect, what happened at, predictions and reactions from Adam and Andrew, I believe. And Ross's WTF moments will be out on the Patreon as well after the show.
And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.